There is a huge silence in each of us that beckons us into itself. And the recovery of our own silence can begin to teach us the language of heaven. I'm Meister Echkart. I've longed for so long that the words lost meaning. I've lost so much time, so little, so momentarily have I been able to speak forth what is truth, to be able to speak impassionately, to be able to speak with honour, to be able to speak with love and kindness is a virtue of the soul. For what seems like an eternity has been denied to me. What seems like moments past has been eons in the very fabric of my being. Unable to quench my thirst for sincerity, I have found nothing to turn to. I've looked up and found judgment, I've looked down and found damnation, I've looked left, I've looked right, and all across the entire spectrum of consciousness and field of being, and the only answer that I can find that makes any sense is the heart. The only compassionate way to view any of this is to see the pain and anguish and suffering as the cause of heartbreak, and heartbreak as the cause of beauty. To turn within and see that which is holy must also dictate that when turning within, one to see the darkest, most hated and unrevered, disgusting parts of oneself as well. And we can do it with open hearts, with open minds, with freedom of speech, with freedom of context, with freedom of understanding, with non-judgment, with this non-double talk, hyperbolous, schizotypal, schizophrenic frenzy of absolute misdirection. To speak with sincerity, authority, authenticity, genuity and madness, all formed of the same substrate, which is truth of God, of madness and love and happiness and well-being and joy, are all mired, all cast aside when you first enter the underworld. But as you rise, your roots in hell, your branches in heaven, and all beyond, you become to see a vision of life, a vision of love, a vision of heart, a vision of truth, a vision of honesty, a vision of immaculacy that can only be described ineffably without words. If you know the feeling, you see the feeling. If you've been there, you would understand and you would not deny it. The raging love, the absolute fountainhead of being that can be expressed can never be put into words, but we so desperately grasp. We so desperately grasp for the ineffable, unending, consequential chaos of being. The silence that once we were, the uncontaminable, inexplicable vastness of source, the overwhelming, undeniable presence of everything that is combined in the singularity, of every single moment in time that can be stretched out for eternity, because there is one moment and only one moment. There is only one moment, and the moment has come to pass. We can gaze off into a future that never comes to be, or look longingly back to a past that never really happened. But all we can know, all we can be, all we can see is what we are. Reality is a hallucination, and I say that with no irony, with no hyperbole, with no insincerity. All of this, I'm staring into a screen of myself talking, and I can see the soul, and I can see the darkness, I can see the beauty and the hatred, the love, the honor, the everything that there is to be. We live in this world of self-misrepresentation, of acknowledgement of nothing but that can be shown, that can be evidenced, that can be stated, that can be factualized in a world that is inherently governed by lie. There is nothing, there is everything. True nihilism comes to the inevitable conclusion that because everything is nothing, therefore our own individual meaning is the only thing with meaning. It's the natural conclusion. But coming from the top down, coming from consciousness as prime, the idea that even as I exacerbatedly talk here with my incredibly convoluted word salad, a salacious vacuum of nonsensical drivel that will somehow make sense in a poetic, nuanced way, I am observing myself in this moment talking directly to an unknown other, an unknown, ineffable and inexplicable alternate version of myself to watch this back later in the future with no recognition of who I am or what I was doing or how I was thinking, that only to fall short by the simple act of this being recorded, by the act of observation, by the act of the continuity of my own behavior, my own fleeting memories designed by time to be altered in the past. We cannot look back to the past with any type of sincerity. Neuroscience has shown us that we cannot look back and know that we know. We cannot look forward with any precision. So what can we know other than the now? And that's where God lies. That's where the quintessence of reality can be found. When you look deep within to the moment and you see there is all contained within that. Everything happened in a singular point in time that only the conscious could ever experience. I'm an animist. I look down into and up in every degree, in the 12-dimensional supergravitational forces of the entire known and unknown universe. There is nothing but the moment. There is no time, there is no space, there is no linearity. There is only this moment, this moment, this moment, and they're all the same thing. There is one hyperdimensional, quasi-surreal, holographic self existing, and we're all that same being, and we all have the soul. We are all God, we are all one. We are all nothing and everything simultaneously. Thanks.